Coming up on this edition of Mustang News, we take a look at the new innovative learning space for kids and adults right here in Wichita Falls.
Plus, we will check back in on the results from our Texas elections.
And later we look into a scene from the popular movie The Dark Knight. All this and more coming up.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News. I'm Trey Jones.
And I'm Ava Washburn. MSU Texas alumni Michael Elia graduated last year and is now the CEO and founder of Dexter, a learning center for kids focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Elia believes in a non-traditional learning environment based on the application of knowledge rather than the memorization of facts and figures.
His vision is to get kids thinking about the world in a practical sense and to expand Dexter's way of thinking to the community through a new online platform. Reporter Jesselyn Castro has got to check it out.
Dexter Learning Center provides the opportunity for kids to understand how the world works scientifically, straying away from current traditional styles of teaching for students in K-12 and in higher education. CEO Michael Elia stresses the importance of deeper thinking and hands-on learning to achieve better problem-solving skills.
I graduated with a lot of engineers on paper, but not in practice. And that's really, really problematic. And so if we're going to solve some of these biggest problems, the biggest challenges, like climate change and alternative energy, we fundamentally need humans that can view the world scientifically. Our ideals and our ambitions have to match with some sense of practicality, understanding how the world works, and the world's a complex system. And so our kids are starting to view reality through that lens, and it's not about the future, it's about the present moment. It's changing their lives right now.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is a way for students to learn how to question why and figure out how things work as a whole.
Our curriculum is centered around the most important subject, which is life. This this compartmentalization and individual subjects has been really problematic. And it makes these things into inert subjects. And so it turns out whenever you tie learning to the service of building something, creating something, you make it immediately relevant. The why is so important. Humans are capable of way more than you can imagine. We're naturally born scientists, and school beats it out of us. Whenever a student's doing art, you don't have to force them to do more art. But whenever they're doing math work, they feel you have to force it out of them. But if you can blend those experiences, it's really kind of shocking what kids are capable of. And so, like I said, we've had kids as young as 10 do things that the average college kid couldn't do.
Students at Dexter are able to interact, express, and share their ideas with their peers twice a week during workshop hours on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Each student works at their own pace and on their own particular projects.
What we're doing here is we are, so first I have to make a Scratch program. Scratch is a kids programming website, and so I'm using this to program and make a program about my superhero's backstory, sort of. And then what I'm gonna do is use a separate website called Tinkercad to make a 3D model of my superhero, and then use the 3D printers at Dexter to 3D print it to complete this project.
Dexter's new online platform has hopes of getting the community more involved on this innovative thinking and to provide that third creative learning space outside of work and school.
So many people just have these ideas and they don't actually do anything with it. And so if we can just get 10% of the population to stop complaining, to start doing, to stop worrying about some random politician in Washington, and to solve our own problems right here, right now. 3D printing, computer programming, virtual reality, laser cutters, all these things enable us to do really cool things without permission.
With Mustang News, I'm Jesselyn Castro.
Dexter is located in Wichita Falls in the second floor of the Big Blue Building. To learn more about how to take part in this creative learning center, you can visit dexter.education.com.
A few other local organizations have set out to make an impact in the community in a different way, and that's by joining the fight against hunger. United Supermarkets and Market Street have partnered with the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank for the Turkey Bucks food drive this month. Customers have the option to donate money, buy a pre-made bag of food, or just donate dry goods. Once Turkey Bucks is over, the stores will box all donations for the food bank to pick up. The food bank will use the cash donations to buy goods and other dry goods. From there, they will distribute the food over to 200 food pantries in the 12-county area. Those pantries will then give out food to those in need in their communities. CEO of the food bank, Kara Nickens, says the pantries serve about 5,600 people a week and always need more resources.
So as fast as this food is coming out, or coming in, it's going out just as fast. So we just need people to continue to help us feed our neighbors in need and make donations as they can.
Although Turkey Bucks ends this weekend, the food bank has several ongoing food drives to keep food moving into our communities and hunger moving out. To find more ways to donate even to sponsor your own food drive, visit the food bank's website at wfafb.com. Coming up after the break, we will check back in on our midterm Texas elections.
Welcome back, Mustangs.
On October 6th, the race for Texas State Senate ended with Ted Cruz on top. Senator Cruz made a campaign stop in Wichita Falls just days before his win. Reporter Sydney Menzick has more on the story.
Wow, this had too short.
On Tuesday, October 1st, Senator Ted Cruz spoke to members of the community while on his Cruise to Victory bus tour. Over 400 people packed into Aiken Auditorium at MSU to hear the senator.
I loved Ted Cruz's speech. It was very inspirational, and I think the whole crowd here, I think it's going to stick with the whole crowd. I think those who haven't gone out and vote yet are going to go out and vote tonight and tomorrow and on Election Day so we can win this election.
Though many people came out in support of Cruz, a few did not. MSU Pride held a silent protest outside of the rally.
As a member of Pride, it is important for us to get our views out there and to let people know that we are alive and on campus, and when someone such as Ted Cruz comes to campus who directly disagrees with our way of life, we have to let him and his supporters know that we are alive and we exist and we are people just like them.
Reporting for Mustang News, this is Sydney Menzick.
Congratulations, Senator Cruz, on your victory, and we hope to see great things for Texas in the future.
Now let's head on over to our own Latoya Fondren to hear about some controversy that's been sweeping this campus.
Yes, thanks, Ara. Election season is now underway, with some students finding fascist flyers on campus. The climate of our campus may have become just a little hotter. I looked into the matter to gather more information. Fall semester winding down and students preparing for Thanksgiving break, some students have discovered fascist flyers randomly posted on campus and are concerned about their findings. Christopher Cruz, theater performance senior, says he found a flyer at the Killingsworth bus stop and he wasn't so happy about what he saw.
Far away, I noticed the emblem, which is the eagle and then the stars, and then I'm like, okay, I've seen this flyer before, so I went up to it, and then it said in big words, "Keep America American." And then on the bottom it said, "Report any illegal immigrants. They are criminals." And I'm like, oh. And then it had a number and then a website to go to for it.
Dr. Shipley, president of the university, sent an email to the university community addressing the issue of the flyers, saying, quote, "I am writing to emphasize that racial slurs, hate speech, and acts of bigotry such as were witnesses in this act have no place at MSU, Texas. As we enter the uniquely American holiday season of Thanksgiving, let us focus our valuable energies on inclusion and respect in this. our vibrantly diverse and multicultural community. Please join your fellow MSU students, faculty, and staff in supporting actions and discussions that counteract hate, discrimination, and violence. End quote. Keith Lamb, president of Student Affairs, says he's saddened by the issues the campus is experiencing and wants everyone to continue to take a stand on these societal issues.
I have a lot of emotions when students find these. One is sadness, because it's a reflection on what's happening in many respects in our country.
Instead of students feeling safe on campus, they have to worry about acts of hate that during a time where the world lacks so much love and inclusion. For Mustang News, I'm Latoya Fondren. Now, Dr. Lamb also said to don't be afraid when you find a flashes flyer on campus. Instead, report them to the Student Affairs Office or the campus police, because your voice matters, and administration needs to be aware for the safety of everyone. On a lighter note, our very own entertainment producer, Tyler Manning, gives a more in-depth look into an iconic scene from the popular film, The Dark Knight.
To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
I'm Tyler Manning, and today I wanted to quickly examine the 180 rule and how Christopher Nolan uses it to discuss character in The Dark Knight. The 180 rule is a technique most commonly referenced when shooting dialogue. Keep the camera on one side of the actor so they aren't looking the same direction. This helps the audience know where the actors are placed in the scene. In the infamous interrogation scene, Nolan breaks the 180 rule to discuss the similarities between Batman and the Joker. Joker mentions society is bound together by an adherence to feeble moral codes. Take those away from society and enters chaos. The Joker and Batman are representations of both ends of this spectrum. Though he operates outside the law, Batman still holds himself to his own moral code. Without it, he is just a sociopath in a costume operating outside the law. Sound familiar? In moments throughout the scene, Batman and Joker are shown looking the same direction, establishing their similarities visually. This gets more frequent the more frustrated Batman becomes and the closer he gets to killing the Joker. Nolan's trick is the most obvious in the final moment of the scene, where we see Batman and the Joker facing the same direction as Batman beats the Joker senselessly. We see now, they are two sides to the same coin. Next time you are watching a movie, pay attention to where characters are looking. It may end up telling you a lot more about the story than you think. For Mustang News, I am Tyler Manning.
Wow, what an amazing film. Now, if you have yet to see this film, you can rent the DVD from the Moffett Library. After the break, we will check in with Steven in Sports Scene and see what's going on with our MSU athletes. We'll be right back.
Each path to success is a journey, filled with twists and turns that allows you to discover more about yourself.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Here, you can find yourself, live, lead,
and learn in a vibrant, creative community.
Make connections that will last a lifetime and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Welcome to the Sports Scene. I'm Steven Gomez. The past few weeks were filled with ups and downs for the Mustangs, as this marks the end of the soccer and football season, but begins the basketball season. Let's take a look at how football did in their season finale. The final regular season game had implications on whether or not the Mustangs would make the playoffs. Like many other games this season, the Mustangs dominated for the first half. It was a touchdown to Jordan Carroll from a laden grab and an Adrian Seals touchdown run to put the Mustangs up 17-7 at halftime. The second half, however, belonged to West Texas A&M, scoring 10 points of their own and keeping the Mustangs scoreless to end regulation tied 17-all. In overtime, Vincent Johnson scored and Jason Imbernini hit the extra point to put the Mustangs up 7. But West Texas responded with a touchdown of their own and decided to end the game right there and go for 2. But they get sacked and the Mustangs win the game 24-23. Sadly, winning the game wouldn't be enough, however, as the Mustangs didn't get in the Division II playoff this season. After an impressive 6-1-3 season, the MSU soccer team took on Colorado Mesa in the second round of the NCAA Division II playoffs. After receiving a bye for the first round, this would be the first game of the playoffs for the Mustangs. Let's see how they did. The match was a very impressive defensive showing from both teams, relying on their defenders. Both MSU and Colorado Mesa were able to keep it scoreless in both regulation and overtime periods, leading to penalty kicks. Sadly, in penalty kicks, the Mustangs lost 4-5, kicking them out of the playoffs. Even after this loss, the soccer team should be very proud of their results this season. Great job, Mustangs. With the exit from the football and soccer season, the men's basketball season awakens. After some exhibition games earlier in the month, the basketball team hosted the Nissan Wichita Falls Conference Challenge last week. The Conference Challenge had the basketball team first facing Rogers State, where the Mustangs handily defeated the Hellcats 80-75. Darius Thompson led the pack with 15 points, while Gilbert Thomas crashed the boards with 10 rebounds. The next day, the Mustangs faced Arkansas Fort Smith, and while a closer game, the Mustangs fell short at the final seconds to lose 63-64. Josh Wallace put on a show, scoring 16 points, and Gilbert Thomas put on yet another impressive show with the boards again. We talked to senior forward Oya Adeli about the expectation the team has for this season.
Expectation is just building our team chemistry, and because it's a whole new team, so we have to build a team chemistry first and then compete at a high level. And we're trying to win a lot of games and win a championship. The cross-country team just won their 7th LSC championship title. The Mustangs' 7 titles have come in the last 11 years, all under Coach Kobe Stiles, including 4 straight from 2008 to 2011, then 2014 and 2016, now 2018. Reporter Ruth Mercado had a chance to hang out with the team over the past several weeks and has more on their season.
After an intense yet incredible season, the MSU Mustangs cross-country team recently finished their season competing in the Lone Star Conference and successfully taking home their 7th LSC championship title under Coach Kobe Stiles. This year, the team had 18 runners, 3 of which placed top 10 in the conference. Individually, junior Bridget Riley earned her second all-conference honor, placing second with a time of 22:55. Junior Jasmine Ammo also earned all-conference honors, placing 8th with a time of 23:35.90, while sophomore Amaris Aguirre also earned all-LSC acclaim, finishing 10th with a time of 23:42.40. Although sometimes unnoticed, the girls on this team are absolutely gifted. Not only are they incredible athletes waking up at 6 a.m. every morning for practices, but incredible students as well, holding a 3.3 cumulative GPA and logging over 690 volunteer hours in an academic school year.
For us as a program is volunteer work. I mean, last year we were #1 in the nation for most hours put in by a cross-country team, and so in Division II. And so we pride ourselves on that because we are 6 a.m. every morning. Not a lot of people see us. We don't have a whole lot of home meets. We definitely don't have any home track meets. And so how we get our name, our brand out there amongst the community is volunteer work, whether that's helping with a high school or junior high cross-country race, a local 5K, Humane Society, whatever it is, we want to be out and about amongst the community.
It hasn't always been an easy season for them, the teammates share.
Expectations got too far ahead of us, I think, and we weren't racing as we thought that we were going to race. So we kind of got a little bit disheartened.
I think the main goal for the season was to come together as a team and work together, run for one another, and just get our gap time down.
Cross country is just a sport where you go through the same stuff together, you hurt, and it's just so painful, but you manage to do it together, which makes everyone just super close, kind of like a family.
All of us want to, reach to the next level, and I think that's awesome. Like in practice, you definitely feel that. You definitely feel like working together and that competitive fire, and I think that definitely translates over to races.
This season wasn't always easy. but they excelled, and this season was a reflection of all of their hard work. Reporting for Mustangs News, I'm Ruth Mercado.
The Mustangs cross-country team heads to Colorado today for the NCAA Division II South Central Regional 6K. Good luck, Mustangs. To view the Mustangs schedule for upcoming meets, visit msumustangs.com. You can also follow the Mustangs on Twitter at MSUTexas_XC track. That's it for this segment of Sports Scene. After the break, we have a very special interview with the CTO of Dexter, Bryant Vergara.
Each path to success is a journey.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Live, lead,
And learn in a vibrant, creative community.
make connections that will last a lifetime, and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Welcome back, Mustangs, and welcome to Mustangs Corner, where we sit down with people from the community and hear more about just what they do. Today we have with us Bryant Vergara, the CTO of Dexter, a new innovative learning platform for students and adults here in Wichita Falls. Thanks so much for joining us today, Bryant.
Thanks for having me.
We really wanted to sit down with you today and just hear more about what you guys are doing at Dexter since it is such a new concept. And I want you to just, first of all, tell me just exactly what you guys do at Dexter.
So we have kind of two parts of our company, which is like the online platform, which ironically also powers the second part, our online learning platform for kids and kids and adults all over the world. So we built it from hand with myself and another software engineer, and then our other side is our Dexter Hub, which is like an open space that's kind of, think of it it's like a supercharged library filled with a lot of really cool tech and just available for the entire community to join.
Well, that's so awesome that it's here in Wichita Falls. Why did y'all actually choose Wichita Falls?
So I didn't actually have any idea that this town existed prior to about a year ago. My co-founders, Michael and Sean, are actually from here, and they decided to start a kind of a smaller side project, and then eventually grew into what is Dexter now. We decided to stay versus going to the Dallas-Fort Worth area or San Francisco or Austin, because Wichita Falls is actually abnormally normal. And the people here are actually just really, really open-minded, surprisingly, when it comes to alternative forms of education. And we found a lot of really great success in building a community here, which is kind of why we've stayed and why we think we're going to be here for the extended future. But yeah, it's just a really cool town. And I think we wouldn't be able to do what we do in any other town, mostly because of real estate costs and just getting our name out there.
Well, it's great to hear your take on that. Can I just hear more? What is your exact role at Dexter? Can you tell me about that?
So I'm a chief technology officer. So what that entails is I kind of started the backbone of our software architecture, wrote all the first 300,000 lines of code or whatever it is, and kind of built it from the ground up. Our current platform is miles ahead of where it used to be, and I'm kind of in charge of designing it and talking to users and seeing what they want. Also just being engaged in our community, trying to do more marketing and product development and all that good stuff.
Yeah. For you, what has been the best part about working at Dexter?
Honestly, seeing kids who come into our space who otherwise would have been cast out by traditional school system. A lot of our kids are homeschooled students, and they get to come here and really be engaged and love what they learn. So we have a lot of parents and a lot of kids come to us and tell us saying, hey, I come home and I'm super excited about learning and being excited about gaining new knowledge and try new things and not feeling the need to have to prove it to anyone or do well on a test. It's all about just go and explore and be curious.
That's great. Can you tell me how some MSU students can get involved at Dexter?
Yeah, so it's ironic because tomorrow I'm actually going to be giving a talk at McCoy about my experience in depth about computer science and going into industry and doing internships and whatnot. But also we're looking to hire a couple more software engineers and interns. So mostly we're looking for juniors and seniors because we're kind of in scaling mode, so we can't really afford to take younger, inexperienced developers. But for really anyone who's looking to have kind of a job, we're hiring all the time. But also just for general students, if you're looking for a place to kind of go outside of a traditional school system, particularly in college, I highly recommend coming to Dexter and checking out what we do. You can like we pretty much let anyone come in, and just like learn things, build things that you otherwise couldn't do in college. So it's kind of like welcome.
Well, it sounds great. That's all the prepared questions I had for you today. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to save what we have left for Mustang's Corner. Again, thank you so much today for joining me, Brian. It was a great time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. That's it for this edition of Mustang News. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MNG Media and like us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next time for Mustang News.